All right, so right after the success of Chandrayaan 3, India is now all set for the next big mission that is going to happen tomorrow. The rehearsals that have been completed for the launch of Aditya L-1, India's first mission to study the sun. The launch will now happen tomorrow from Sriharikota, as the Aditya L-1 will carry 7 payloads to observe the different layers of the outer sun for a deeper understanding of the ball of fire, with the primary payload on board the spacecraft, which is VECL, that has been designed and built and studied by the team of the Indian Institute of Astrophysics in Bengaluru. Times now also had a word with them exclusively to understand what this mission is all about.
With me is the principal investigator, who's of course been the brain behind this particular payload. And we should more importantly here understand that this particular payload was created in Bengaluru at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics. Joining me is Mr. P. Ramesh, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Quickly, if you could tell us, sir, when did this collaboration with ISRO and the Indian Institute of Astrophysics really come about?
See, before I start this interview, I must admit that there have been principal investigators before me, and presently I am the principal investigator, and this is a team effort, so the credit goes to the entire team who are behind this mission. And coming to the specifics, Indian Institute of Astrophysics have got almost more than 100 years of experience in carrying out observations of the solar atmosphere, particularly during the solar coronal eclipses. And based on the data that was collected over several decades, it was felt that one need to study the corona on a 24/7 basis outside of the eclipses also. And the only place from which such observations are possible is not from the ground, but from some specific vantage points in the space. And so you need to collaborate with the space agents to carry out these observations. And in mid 2012, 2013 and all, there was this announcement of opportunity from ISRO to carry out solar observations from the space using their space missions. And IAA submitted a proposal, and they had designed this VELC, which is the visible emission line coronagraph, which is meant for studying the solar corona, as the name itself says. And today we are in a stage where this coming Saturday, this whole space mission is going to be launched.
So we have the VELC that you're talking about. This is the payload that's going to be on board, the spacecraft. If you could take us through the importance of this in relation to the Earth, because many would assume, well, we're studying the sun, this seems too theoretical. Is this going to be of any sort of relevance to the people here on Earth at this juncture? Take us through that detail, sir.
See, whenever there is a solar quake, which we call as a coronal mass ejection, or the CME, that is, a coronal material is thrown out into the interplanetary space. Now, when I say the coronal material is thrown out into the interplanetary space, the mass of this expelled material can be as high as 10 power 15 grams. And they can race towards the Earth in particular, or any other direction in the space. So there is a situation when these eruptions taking place on the solar atmosphere, and if they are directed towards the Earth, the life on the Earth can be affected. Motives behind this mission is to study these things, which can happen anytime during a day. So we need a 24 hours continuous observations of the sun.
Now, among the 7 payloads that's on board the Aditya L-1 mission, one is the VELC. This is the model of the VELC that's right in front of me. As ISRO, of course, gets set to launch this into the space, we are here with the scientists at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics who've been instrumental in ensuring that this particular payload is on board, and more importantly ensuring that the experiments that ISRO wants to conduct can be successfully done using all the science behind this particular payload. With me is the team that's built this payload from scratch here at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics.
I was basically a designer of this instrument, mechanical systems especially, and we have this VELC is a visible emission line solar coronagraph. So this is the full name for this instrument. Solar light which is entering through this aperture, which will get deployed in the outer space. So light enters through this thing, and there is a lens which blocks the disk light and allows only the coronal light into the system. And the coronal light is imaged in an imaging channel, and then later it is splitted into 3 different channels for spectroscopic analysis and other things. So at the entry point itself, if the alignment is not accurate, or if the alignment gets disturbed during onload, there is liftoff or orbiting thermal loads or anything like that, where the injection of the light at that point itself, the light leaks into the system, it falls on the detector, then the whole mission is lost. Nothing. We will get only blind spot. It will kill the detector and whole mission is lost. The alignment and accuracy is so critical and important.